Hey you guys, it's Alima and welcome back to my channel. This is my review of Married to Medicine Season 10, Episode 5, Resurrection, Rejection. We open with Quad and Phaedra at Quad's house and they're preparing for Heavenly to come over. Have a meeting about Quad's feelings, child. It's always about Quad and her feelings. So Heavenly gets there and Heavenly's outfit, attorney bride slash lingerie slash first lady, because of those open-toed mules, those pilgrim heels. Yeah, she was given a lot of different things with that outfit, but I mean, her body does look her body does look good. She's come a long way from her first season. Her wigs haven't, which is a shame because she owns a beauty supply store and she sells wigs. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. Heavenly looks good. Heavenly gets there and they start talking about Shakespeare and her feelings. Okay, so Shakespeare is basically felt slighted about Heavenly posting a picture with Arizona tea, which I mean, it's a valid problem to have with your so-called friend. But on the other hand, we also have to think about it from like a, this is their job type of thing, because Milo's tea was going to be on the show with Dr. Gregory. You know what I'm saying? But I understand what she means about loyalty because I'm real big on loyalty. But then again, it's like it's Quad. Like, yeah, Heavenly acknowledges that. She was like, I just thought it was funny. Heavenly pretty much owns up to it and takes accountability, something that Quad will never grasp the way those wigs have grasped her edges. Like, yeah, Heavenly took accountability, no excuse. I mean, she did throw in her famous line of, I just thought the shit was funny. Which, I mean, okay, Heavenly. But Mr. Potato Head on the other hand, and I used to go up for Quad too, but like I used to like Quad until I rewatched all of the seasons, and like, girl, you can't be too upset because the way you did Mariah, the way that whole group did Mariah, like y'all created this monster, which is Frank and Quad. You know what I mean? So now y'all have to deal with it. Sorry. And Quaker Oats, baby, this is karma because baby, it's coming back around. So yeah, Heavenly is like, Quad, you disappeared how you always do. You know what I mean? Like Quad doesn't really consider these ladies friends. That's probably why, number one, you and Gregory attracted each other, and why you and Gregory also repelled each other, because y'all are both so, like, y'all both have y'all's redeeming qualities, but the other side is like so repulsive. Like both of y'all have a very repulsive, just just indigestible, if that's the correct word, quality about you all's personalities. Like, I don't know, girl. And then so Heavenly asked Quad if she's gonna reach out to the girls because she feels like they really miss her. And Quad says, I do too. And I believe Quad just misses that check, or knows that she's going to be missing that check if she doesn't do something quick, fast, and in a hurry to maintain her position on this show. You haven't had a purpose for being here in quite some time. And that whole excuse you had the first season, you and Gregory were separated, about maybe people can still learn from me as being someone who's divorced. They can learn, honey, we have all the footages. If we need to reference anything, we can always go back in the Bravo archives. Like, we don't need you to be on the show to learn from your mistakes. Your mistakes are documented. You know what I'm saying? Yours and Gregory's, because we're gonna be fair, yours and Gregory's. But yeah, like, and you know what? Phaedra act she looked nice in this opening scene. In this opening scene only. Like I like the black hair. Like I just really feel like she needs to let go of that blonde. Like it's just not doing anything for her. You know what I mean? Like just stick to black. Like it makes you look so much better. It really actually makes you look younger as well because like the blonde is like so close to gray. You know what I mean? So you kind of like even though like you're natural, you have a natural body, so you say, um, it with the blonde wig on, it be giving like BBL granny, and it's just like not becoming of you. And like, I just feel like, you can do a lot better than what you've been bringing forth thus far. So now we're at my other fave's house, Dr. Simone, and she's with Cecil, and she suggests that they do like a vision board of all of their happy times and happy memories as a point of reference to look back to whenever they're going through hard times or just not at their happiest. And I feel like have y'all really gotten past y'all's issues? Because if y'all still can't talk about or go into depth about the conversation about the reason why y'all almost got divorced without, possibly going back to the place of getting divorced. Like if y'all can't even talk about it, like did y'all really actually deal with it? Like what's the deal with that? Like I feel like we need to revisit that. You know what I mean? But anyway, so they start talking about Cecil basically says that he suggested like he do like some sort of internship type of experience. And Simone's concern is just basically at what point are we going to, make them really step into their young adulthood. And again, it's like you can't go from coddling somebody all this time and then expect them to just know what to do. Like it goes back to what have you been teaching them? And this is not just on Simone. Like I can't emphasize that enough, but like what have you all been teaching and instilling in them while they've been in your household still in order for them to like have some sort of wherewithal or like know how or some sort of street smarts to be able to apply that like in the real world. Like, you know what I mean? Going to college is not enough to prepare you to be in the real world. Like, you need more than just a degree to be equipped. So now we see Phaedra driving around with Benji and passing out these poor ass invitations. Like, what's the point in this big presentation, this big briefcase for just for them to pull out a laminated piece of paper on a popsicle stick? Like, don't they pass those out at church? Very much those hand fans that the old ladies use in church. You know what I mean? It was very poor. So now we're at Toya's house and she has Simone and Red Diamond Tea come over to her house to get some IV drips. And I really want to know what that is that they were eating. Because I know Toya mentioned spaghetti, but what was that piece of meat? Was that grilled chicken? But then at the same time, it looked like it could have been steak. But if it looked like it could have been steak, then I hope it wasn't chicken. You know what I mean? Because that was well overdone. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just want to know what that was. So they start getting the IV drip and they're talking about how Letitia didn't get to hunch Gregory, how she and Gregory didn't get to hunch on their honeymoon because she started her cycle, but her cycle has also been irregular because I I guess like she was bleeding, but she wasn't supposed to be bleeding. So Simone was just letting her know that being that she's trying to have a baby at this time and she's been under so much stress that she probably needs to get that checked out. You know what I mean? So yeah. So Earl Grey tea stumbles upon um Toya's invitation to Phaedra's resurrection event. So basically, Toya suggests that Letitia comes to the event anyways because Phaedra had the nerve to bring quad in her forehead to her bachelorette party. So why not? Why is Dr. Alicia here? Like we couldn't get somebody else. Like why couldn't we bring back Mariah? Like it is season 10. Like why is this lady here? Why couldn't we bring back Audra? You know what I mean? Like why do we get rid of her? Why do we have to have this lady? You know what I mean? Like jeez. She's like we didn't even see her the whole episode. I could have, they could have kept it that way. Like what was the point of her even coming? Like was she just there for the food or girl, like did the producers they couldn't tell you to ask a better question? Like they couldn't give you any better lines, like you couldn't find like a better way to insert yourself? Like again, go home. So the ladies get seated in the pews, and Phaedra has this long introduction, and it was just really unnecessary. Like, spend that much time on Phaedra in the haystack on top of her head walking into the room. But then we had to double back and go through another whole drawn out introduction with Quad in her casket. Like, maybe the casket was fitting for you because your time on this show is dead. You know what I mean? Your time on this show is dead. Maybe at the end of the season, you can get back in and, they can roll you back to the funeral home. Phaedra has the nerve to mention this Sweet Tea wasn't invited tonight. Like, you have no room to point out who was and who wasn't invited after the stunt you all pulled last week. So I wish your wig wasn't invited, you know. I wish your lashes wasn't invited. I do wish your proper foundation shade was invited though, however. You know what I mean? But Phaedra, speaking of what's the plural of Phoenix? Speaking of Phoenix rising, honey, these lashes you had on look like you were about to rise and fly away. Like, you do not need those big, huge, dramatic, like, again, with these lashes, we could cut them down a few millimeters. You know what I mean? With all this talk of birds and rising and flying away, like I guess you thought that those lashes would be fitting for the theme, but I don't know. So Heavenly confronts Sweet Tea about being crossed off the wedding, and Sweet Tea was like, "Cause you were talking mess about my wedding." Which, yeah, Heavenly, I don't know why you're trying to play dumb, but then at the same time, like I said, Sweet Tea, you could have made a phone call or sent a text message, an email, a Phoenix, hell, and said that Dr. Heavenly, you are no longer invited. But instead, you decided to handle it in such a tacky way. And Dr. Damon was a casualty. So it's just like, And Sweet Tea gets upset and she brings up how Heavenly hit her husband in the head with the skillet. And if that's true, I'm surprised that Heavenly let that slip out. Maybe she was a little tipsy like Sweet Tea was at their little sit down a couple episodes ago. But yeah, so they get heated and Heavenly stands up and she's like, "Don't make me whip your ass like your mama should have." And I don't know, between Sweet Tea and Heavenly, who do y'all think would win? Like, I kind of want to say Letitia would beat Heavenly up because Heavenly kind of gives all bark and no bite. At the same time, she look like she'll be the type to, if you tap her on the head, she'll fall out on the ground and act like you broke her neck type stuff. You know what I mean? Real dramatic so that the fight can hurry up and be over so that you really can't beat her up how you intended to. I feel like, I don't know if individuals sit down with work with Toya and Quad, but I feel like that's what they need to do because they have really deep rooted issues. And I don't like how Quad is trying to act like the friction between her and Toya is like coming out of thin air. Or like, I mean, I don't understand why you want to play victim. So like, you can't be the victim in every situation, Quad. Everybody has been a villain in somebody else's story, whether they intended to or not. Like, we all have probably left a bad taste in somebody's mouth. So I'm gonna need for you at your big age to learn some accountability, and take some. Maybe you can put it in supplements or include it in a recipe in your cookbook. Maybe you can take some accountability and tuck it under your wig and some can seep into your scalp. I don't know. Maybe you can take it as an enema. You know what I mean? I heard things absorb faster when you put them in the anus. But I don't know. You just need to find some way to take some accountability. Tisha finally addresses Phaedra about her bright idea to bring Quad to her bachelorette party, and she says that she has no problem with Quad. Her bachelorette party was just not the time or place. And I agree with her. Like, I understand, like, it was going to be necessary for Quad to cross paths with Dr. Gregory and Letitia, but her bachelorette party was not the time or place. Like, in the trailer, it seemed as though Quad was going to be introduced later down the line in the season. This funeral could have been her first time meeting Quad. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why they just had to have her there, but I mean. And then we get another example of Quad poking somebody, them responding, and then when they respond, she wants to automatically act victim. She starts putting her finger in Toya's face, and Toya begins to react. And then all of a sudden, Quad is saying, "Don't touch me, don't touch me." Like, you know what you were doing by you invaded her personal space first, and then in a split second, you managed to make yourself the victim again, like in front of our eyes. Like, baby, you got some issues. Like, I hope you seek individual counseling during and after you and Gregory's marriage because, like, Gregory isn't perfect at all, but you both have issues real bad. So they end up wrapping up the night, and basically, it was a waste of time because there was really no resolve because Quad just refuses to, like Phaedra said, humble herself. Like, she just wants everybody to apologize to her and be like, woe is Quad, woe is Quad. But when it's her turn, she just wants to brush past it. Like, she doesn't want to sit in it and sit with the fact that, she could be, um, she doesn't want to accept the fact that she's capable of leaving a bad taste in someone's mouth, or the fact that she's also capable of hurting someone else's feelings. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be perfect all the time, and you can't be the victim in every situation. Like, and I feel like that's a lesson you should have learned in your adolescence. Like, I don't know how you managed to maneuver and go through life in all of your 40 some odd years uh behaving this way. Like, how do you have friends? You know what I mean? It seems like it would be really exhausting to be your friend. And that's probably why Heavenly only fools with you when y'all are filming. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's my review. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully you come back for another one. Bye.